More than 30 U.S. states have enacted laws that require citizens to show some form of identification before they can vote. Against fierce opposition and after a 4-year court battle, the state of Wisconsin recently enacted one of the most restrictive voter ID laws in the country. In this latest installment of VOA's series, The Voting Rights Act at 50, Jeff Swicord reports the law is still mired in controversy.
And I'm at Juneteenth today to let people know the changes in the voting laws.
Anita Johnson is a Milwaukee community activist helping Wisconsin residents understand the recent changes in the state's voting laws.
How you doing? I'm good. How are you?
Wisconsin is one of more than 30 states where Republican legislatures and governors have enacted restrictive voting laws, some requiring a photo ID to vote.
And you know you have to show a photo ID for any upcoming election? Are you aware of that? No.
The law requires residents to show a valid driver's license, state-issued ID, or U.S. passport to vote. Documents, according to an academic study, an estimated 340,000 Wisconsin residents don't have.
The reason why this law was changed, that we now have to show voter IDs, is to stop people from voting. Plain and simple.
Wisconsin Republican Governor Scott Walker signed the voter ID law in May of 2011. He says the law is necessary to discourage voter fraud and has pledged the state will make every effort to ensure legitimate voters have the necessary ID, including offering IDs for free.
Everyone who is legitimate to vote will have easy access to do that, but we're also making it clear that we're protecting the integrity of each and every vote here in the state of Wisconsin.
But opponents say the aim is voter suppression, noting there is almost no evidence of voter fraud in the state. University of Wisconsin political scientist David Cannon says it's all part of a national battle over voter turnout.
Where Republicans see this as an opportunity to gain advantage in the elections by being able to limit the number of people who go to the polls, who have leanings towards the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party sees this as an effort at voter suppression.
Caught in the middle are people like 86-year-old Melvin Robertson, who has voted his entire life. Melvin does not have any of the required voter IDs. When he tried to get a copy of his birth certificate at the county courthouse, he was turned away. There is no record of his birth on file. Melvin, who has a speech impediment, told us, if you don't vote, you're not a real citizen.
You have to vote. That counts.
And we now require a photo ID to vote in this state.
Despite all the criticism, Republicans are standing firm. Republican Milwaukee County Election Commissioner Rick Bass takes issue with the idea the law is unfair to minorities.
Well, given that I'm part of that demographic, I find it offensive that it's somehow that minorities are not bright enough to be able to get an ID. And again, if you're an American, I want you to vote.
And absentee voting.
With the voter ID law fully implemented and the 2016 election around the corner, activists like Anita Johnson press on.
Good to see you.
No one can predict if the 7 to 12% of the electorate affected by the law will be able to obtain the proper ID and vote.
That's what they do. They just show that.
But with past elections in the state decided by a fraction of those figures, experts say the law could potentially turn an election in Wisconsin. Jeff Swicord.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
VOA News, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.